What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of MainStreet Mic. Thank you for tapping in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you follow all the artists that's featured on the segment. Tap in with their music, their platforms, they social medias and all that stuff. And yeah, just follow us for the journey. Who I have the pleasure to sit here with today.
We got DrewKeys right here.
Yes, sir, Drew Keys. I appreciate you pulling up the MainStreet Mic, dog.
Yes,
so
sir.
my first question to you will be, where are you coming from?
From Silver Spring, Maryland.
Silver Spring, Maryland, rapping Silver Spring, Mocha. How long you been making music?
Sheesh, at this point it's been about 20 years.
Okay.
Yep.
So for the people who don't know, tell the people a little bit about your music, because your music is different than what we had on the platform so far.
For sure. Well, I started off as a keyboardist, pianist, so I've been playing for a bunch of different go-go bands. KOB, New Vision, Trill Band, Changing Faces, UCB, TCB, a bunch of different go-go bands, some legendary bands. But then I started getting into producing music more and more. And these days I mix go-go with trap and R&B, and that's the kind of song I'm gonna do later.
Okay, that's all right. So was there any inspiration for you when you started doing music, or is kind of in yourself?
Yeah, it was kind of just everything just locally was my inspiration. Just coming up playing in go-go bands. Just listening to what was coming up on the radio and everything. My people's Jamaican, listening to reggae, just influenced by everything. And then now just blending what I know from live music and go-go. I try to bring that into the sound we hear today.
Okay, so would you say go-go music is the biggest influence on the music that you make today?
Yeah, I say so. Just because I played keyboard and go-go bands for so long, so it kind of influences how I approach melodies and all that.
Okay, sweet. So you say you started off on the keyboard. Is there any other instruments that you play?
Yeah, I play bass and guitar. When I produce, I put guitars into it, but when I gig, it's mostly keyboard.
Okay, sweet. So how often do you run gigs, if you don't mind me getting into your business?
Yeah. Not as much as I used to. I'm not full time with any bands right now, but probably like twice a month or something.
Okay,
and
that's
I
sweet.
DJ too.
Okay, so your gigs that you do, are they mostly go-go bands, or it's kind of whatever you're getting booked for? It varies.
It's a mix. It might be being booked to be behind an artist as an R&B band, or it might be with a go-go band, or it might just be me solo on keys or DJing. Mix it up.
So let me ask you this: Have you had any shows where you're the headliner, just being a pianist or a guitarist or anything like that?
Yeah. I've definitely done a few shows where I've headlined. I've thrown a few events, a few annual events that I did around my release party. And sometimes I might just get booked as a DJ or just a pianist. It just depends.
Okay. And what would you say you like better, to have your own events and your own shows, or to be part of a band and something that's bigger than yourself? Let's say playing with TCB or Dream Band or something like that.
Yeah, well, I like when it's intentional and I can promote that I'm the headliner, that I'm the act, and push my music. But it's always fun to play with acts that's bigger than me, because it's just we building to make something bigger.
Okay, for sure. And your tenure of doing music, what do you say? Give me 3 things that you say is your favorite things about being artist or producer, engineer.
3 things about being an artist, producer, or gigging. I would say definitely practice is important when it comes to playing an instrument. The more practice, the better. Literally, it's just the more practice you get, the more the more experience you have when it comes to gigging and producing. With producing, I'd say try different styles, because different genres can affect your creativity. So the more you listen to, the more you try, it just it can let you experiment with your sound and just kind of go further than you would have if you didn't experiment. And yeah, stay consistent with whatever you're doing, with shows, producing content, making content. I think that's important these days, just to make content and stay consistent with whatever you're putting out. Just stay consistent with that.
For sure.
Yeah.
And let me ask you, in the next, let's say 3 to 6 months, what can the fans expect from DrewOnTheKeys?
3 to 6 months. So in August, there's going to be a show down in Jamaica. We bring go-go to Jamaica. Drew Keys and friends.
Country.
Drew Keys and friends in Jamaica. So that's going to be pretty lit. We're going to set that up.
Where do people find information for that?
So info's about to drop soon. It'll be on my page, my website, DrewOnTheKeys.com, and all social media at DrewOnTheKeys.
Okay. So all social media is Twitter, Instagram, TikTok is DrewOnTheKeys.
Yep.
Okay, so make sure you tap into his Instagram. His Instagram, TikTok, Twitter account to find information on the DrewOnTheKeys and friends in Jamaica. That shit sounds lit. That shit sounds lit.
Yeah, that's gonna be lit.
Okay, that's all right. Is that your first show out of the? I guess like out of the country.
Yeah, that'd be the first one out of the country. Definitely done a few out of states, out of the in different states, but this will be the first one out the country.
Out the country.
Yep.
Okay. I guess I can only imagine you're super excited for that.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
That's all right. So how'd you even go about this? You say your folks are from Jamaica. Is that how that kind of curated?
Actually, I met a travel agent through one of my friends, Mong Lin, and they. She knows a travel agent, so she kind of just connected us, and we've been scouting the place, and I always have a band. Well, I don't have a band with a name, but I can always put together a band for any.
You can always get a group of musicians to come back you up.
Right. So
okay, that's sweet. That's sweet.
Put the plays together.
So how you go about it? So are you trying to advertise it more so to the Jamaican community, or trying to advertise it to the American community and have them travel out there? I'm just curious.
We want to do both. We want to do both. So we'll definitely throw some reggae in our set, do some go-go reggae kind of fusion. But it's both. We definitely want to bring people down there with us, and we want the local crowd to come out and see us too. Okay,
that's sweet. That's sweet. And my last question. Oh, this is not gonna be my last question. My next question is gonna be tell the folks a little bit about what you're about to perform today.
Oh yeah. So the song today it's called Lean's Gone Cold. So it was actually a sample from Ray Shremmer. He had a TikTok video where he was singing. It's kind of like that Stan Eminem song, but he remixed it and said, "My lean's gone cold." I sampled that and I put a bounce beat on it. So I put that out, and it started to go viral because I think people were trying to find the actual version that Ray Shremmer did, that Sway Lee did. Mm-hmm. So it was doing crazy numbers, like higher than anything I ever dropped. But then when they dropped their album, they actually did a copyright strike and took everybody's
everybody's
remixes,
had
that sample. Yeah, they took them all
Everybody
down.
Everybody getting took it.
Yeah, so it was crazy. So I'm like, damn. I'm like, they took it down. So I was like, man, it cranks too hard though. So I was like, let me just redo it and re-sing it. And I don't even normally do a lot of songs vocally, like rapping or singing. But for that song, I was like, let me just re-sing it and put it out. So I just redid the vocals and then.
Okay, so it's like a whole DrewOnTheKeys revamp.
Exactly.
Okay, that's sweet.
Yeah.
All right, so my official last question to you will be, what is one piece of advice that you can give to any other artist or musician that's just starting their career? Like, you've been doing it for a long time. I'm sure you experienced a lot of different things. You went through different trials and tribulations. What is one piece of advice you can give to somebody else that's just starting?
For real, I just say stay consistent. Don't give up. Like, that's really all it, like, the longer you do something, like, the better you're gonna get. So just keep doing it. Stay consistent. Like,
okay, for sure. I can fuck with that. Consistency is key in anything you do in your life.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, that's another episode of MainStreet Mic. I got DrewOnTheKeys with me today. We about to perform right now. Make sure you tap into the performance episode. Make sure you go follow him on social media, Instagram, TikTok. Check out his Apple Music, Spotify, all that good stuff. And yeah, we about to perform. Thank you for tapping in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And yeah, we out.